Hey Grace Church, welcome to the weekly for the week of June 9th. My name is Jesse, one of the pastors. We continue our Counter Formation series. Today we're talking about same-sex attracted people. So we're continuing our Counter Formation series. This is a PG-13 series, so if you're watching this in house church and there's children around, you may want to ask your children to go into a different room, but it's your choice as a parent if you want them to be a part of the conversation or to overhear it. We're going to be using the word G-A-Y in this weekly. So we are talking about same-sex attracted people and what the Bible says about these people and what it means for them to belong at Grace Church San Diego and what it means for us to engage North Park in San Diego. This is a very personal topic for many. It can be a very polarizing conversation in our cultural moment. It is something that some people would rather not talk about, but I do believe that it is important for our church to think about these things and to grow. And so, yeah, I ask all people to consider what's being presented, to ponder it, to reflect on it, and let's be kind to each other. It's so important, I'm going to say even required, for you to be kind to each other as you engage in the conversation later. So I gave some statistics from research that more and more young people are identifying as a sexual minority or having same-sex attraction, same-sex sexual experiences. I shared how the majority of LGBT people have grown up in a church environment and have left the church by the time they're 18. I also shared that in culture and society, there's been a social shift in the last 20 years from a small portion to the majority of the population supporting same-sex marriage and relationships, and that most people, when they think of Christians in the church, think of us as anti-gay. And so there's work that we need to do for young people and the world to understand who Jesus is and what it means to be loved by the church. This doesn't mean that we have to change our beliefs, but it does mean that we need to shift our posture in how we care for sexual minorities because they're finding their identity, belonging, and purpose in other places. And I believe that breaks the heart of God. And so we talked about 3 New Testament passages that we're not going to read them, but they focus on same-sex behavior. That's an important point and distinguishing thing when it comes to the 6 passages in the Bible that talk about same-sex behavior. Under that, we talked about the 3 different kinds of churches: a side A, affirming church; a side B, non-affirming church; and a side X, non-affirming church. Side A, affirming church, believes that marriage can be between a man and a woman or 2 people of the same sex. A side B, which is Grace Church, believes that marriage is between a man and a woman. And then a side X church believes what a side B church believes, but also believes that you need to be cured or healed from being gay, so that you need to convert from being gay to straight, which is not where Grace Church stands. Underneath that, I gave 3 crucial points of clarity, which are important, and I'm just going to read them and not give the nuance necessary for them, but I'm just going to give them to you. Crucial point number 1, we need clarity around the language that we use. I use the word gay, same-sex attracted, homosexual, sexual minority, basically interchangeably, that they all refer to people who are attracted to the same sex, don't necessarily mean behavior. And so those words in and of themselves, outside of behavior, are not sinful. Number 2, one more point on point 1 is that some people prefer to use same-sex attraction over gay or other words, and that's totally fine. We don't judge each other and the words that we choose to use to describe people or themselves. Crucial point number 2, a person's sexual orientation is their sexual orientation. There's a lot of research and data out there that, and testimonies and stories that people that have tried to change from gay to straight and experienced different conversion therapies and ministries that it just didn't work. Greg Johnson wrote a book, Still Time to Care, that really does a great job of flushing this out. And so a person's sexual orientation and who they're attracted to is who they're attracted to. And it's not, attraction, whether gay or straight, is not sinful, but it can be depending on what we do with it. And then the third point, we must distinguish between same-sex behavior and same-sex attraction. And attraction it is what it is, and it's morally neutral, but behavior can become a sin. And so you can be a same-sex attracted person at Grace Church, believing in a traditional sexual ethic, and belong in any part of Grace Church. You can be in any position of leadership at Grace Church. And so that's the third distinction. I understand that for people who are gay, same-sex attracted, that to even think about pursuing a life of celibacy, that's a huge cost. And that there is some major costly obedience that needs to be is on you, if that's you and your story. And I think the majority of the church should understand the weight of that's a big ask. And so if you are a side B gay Christian, we want you to know that you can belong and serve, and we honor you and defend you and cheer you on and believe that you have a life of flourishing here at Grace Church San Diego and to God. And for people that are a side A gay Christian and you're pursuing an intimate relationship with someone of the same sex, you can also belong here in house church, in Sunday service, in some areas of service at our church. But there are some places that will be excluded from you. And I believe it's kind to be honest about basically membership and leadership at our church. And this is how we faithfully interpret the Bible, and these are just our boundaries when it comes to how we as a church live this out. So we closed with this book called Unclean, and he talks about the conditions in Christians in particular, but just in society, that cause a person to become disgusted with a particular person or group of people or sin. And that we all often have become disgusted by certain kinds of sexual sin and certain kinds of people, and that Jesus was actually way more disgusted by hypocrisy and self-righteousness than sexual brokenness. And so for us as a church, how can we grow in becoming disgusted at the things Jesus was disgusted with, and be boundary breakers, wall breakers, and including where we can to those who we are often disgusted with, or maybe Jesus isn't.